We're going to start now with the breakout reports. Once again, we have a number of wonderful individuals who, in addition to enjoying the breakout session, took copious and informed notes so that you could learn what went on each session unless you were able to attend more than one. So we will start again. And I have a return reporter with me. Kierna, modulate to the crowd and tell them what you have here.
Okay, so I sat in the presentation of Iman, and his presentation was on Islamophobia, the real threat. And just simply to put that Islamophobia is simply a violation of human rights. And it only brings violence and hatred among people who are innocent and who do not want to be categorized as being violent. And we see in the media that they are seen as people who are sexist or terrorists, but that's not the case at all. And so what we need to do is to address the problem. We need to make known that this is happening in our country and that the United States is leading in that idea of Islamophobia. And so Muslims are working hard to combat Islamophobia, and so should we.
Thank you.
My name is Suleiris. I'm from Rotary, University of Michigan, and I went to talk depression in the newsroom with Matthew Shaw. So he was talking how at a young age he noticed that he had depression, but it wasn't diagnosed. Then he noticed that his symptoms aggravated when he was in his mid-20s, but then he was really successful at his job and so on. Then a couple of years ago, that's when the depression actually hit him, but he had a great support team from his work and colleagues, which helped him come out of it, and then he decided that he wanted to do something. He came to the University of Michigan, did a fellowship for a year, and now he's back at BBC trying to implement the importance of mental health. What's something that we can do is actually be open about mental disease, how we can talk about it and make action plans, and never tell anyone that they got it worse. It's important to never do that. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Carson Smith. I'm a senior at the Ford School of Public Policy here at the University of Michigan. So our talk was about the power of one with Carrie Hassler-Radilette, the former director of the Peace Corps, who spoke with us this morning. And today we used case studies from Peace Corps volunteers to talk about leadership principles and how one person can make a difference in their own community. So some things that came out of this, I will repeat the point, and I will say the point, I want you to repeat it back to me. So being an empowerment warrior. Secondly, recognizing stigma. And then lastly, working with the community. So these are all important things to keep in mind, especially when you're working as an outsider inside of a community. Some questions we were left with to contemplate. What are the factors that are affecting peace in your community? What can I do to learn more? And lastly, what action can you take as an individual, and we take collectively to help address that problem and create a deeper, more penetrative peace in our communities? Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. I'm going to hire that young man. He has great pipes. That's what I have to say.
Okay. Well, I'm Ben Brady. I know I spoke yesterday, but today our session was about forgiveness and letting go of the idea of revenge. And the speech was given by Dr. Jim Dinkale, if I pronounced that right. And we talked a lot about holding grudge, like the idea of letting go of grudges that we all hold. Because sooner or later, at some point in our life, everybody is going to have a grudge that they're holding, and it really is not always controllable. Sometimes you'll have a grudge, but the importance that we kind of talked about though was kind of like validating yourself, like that you feel that way, understanding, but then also thinking about putting yourself in others' shoes and kind of looking at what they're going through. Thinking about what it would be like to be them. if you were in their shoes, would you really want someone holding you, constantly reminding you of something you did wrong? It's enough to just to hold them accountable for short term, like say, I don't think what you did was right, and they probably already know that, and if they don't, then you're telling them so they know that you think that, and then that's really is all you need to do, and because going any further is going to harm them, make them feel very guilty, overly guilty, to where it doesn't do anybody any good. So, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Hi, I'm Ethan Milok from Pioneer High School Interact Club of Ann Arbor. And so my breakout topic was Peace Jam by Dave Gilbert. And so what Peace Jam is it's a organization to develop young leaders and engage them in their local and global communities. And so key topics covered were that there's been a global refugee kind of crisis ever since World War II, and that communities are faced with even more diversity and kind of strains on their society and economy. And so with that, Peace Jam helps by improving the community by bringing together people and working on community-oriented goals. And so ways you can kind of like take action in your community is by kind of just being educated and learning about your problems facing and how you can change them, and then go about it by service learning, which is going out and actually doing something and learning as you go. And also there's create a project, investigate about it, and then you can build off your topic and create something really great in the end with it.
Thank you, Ethan.
My name is Jelena Porter, and I'm a freshman at Detroit International Academy. Today, I was in the group of Peace Fellows and Scholars with Jennifer Jacobson, and we covered, well, when we first started, the first thing right off the back that she introduced to us, like if she could take a piece of advice with her and present it to everyone, was to expect the unexpected as far as everything in life, and to brace yourself for everything, because you never know what outrageous things or what excellent things may come to you, to your life. And we covered some of the things that her group does. The Peace Fellows, they do things like human security, peace education, and conflict resolution and analysis, etc. Some of the opportunities that she was able to experience in her group were field training in Nepal and Myanmar, and site visiting in Thailand, and vocational days. And some of the goals and projects that they did were shelter box, volunteering, promoting Rotary, peace fellowship training. Also, their locations are literally all over the world, North America, Asia, Europe, Africa, and they range from ages to 25 to 65. And so some of the suggested actions, well, one of the suggested actions in home communities would just be to reach out to the Peace Fellows and Scholars, because once you reach out to their program, they help you and they take you from there and they guide you to whatever you need to do from there. You can reach out from any point across the world and they'll point you to a Peace Fellow that may be near you or wherever you are, and they take you from there. So thank you.
Very good. David's not a student reporter, but I will say before we toss to our tenured reporter here that I have to be so impressed with the detail of the notes that our students took and with the dedication that they gave to their reporting today. So I really have an appreciation for that, and I'm sure all of you do as well. And now, David, you will have the last word as the reporter, and like a good reporter, you have 90 seconds.
I like to think I'm young at heart, at least. However, I was an Interact student back in high school. I was a Rotaractor, early 20s. I was there for the Rotary Action Group for Peace, founded by Al Jubitz, who was described by Riem Gunim as the heart, soul, and founder of the RAG for Peace with Dennis Wong. And he does a lot of work. Part of the talk was how we can promote the RAG for Peace, educate fellow Rotarians, Interactors, Rotaractors on peace projects and what peace is doing in the world. It's currently run by Reem, who's a peace fellow. She grew up in Palestine, has understood the issues that go around with war and bias and things of that nature. But one of the things that she noted, that every day she woke up learning to appreciate the triumphs every day as a simple smile that she could give to someone else or receive back. That her community built genuine relationships by supporting each other every day. But the comment that got me, that I understood the most, was what connects us today is far more powerful than what can separate us. So just keep those words in your own mind. Comes from Reem, a peace fellow coming from a part of the world which is so dynamic and so at risk. I just have one request. There was a young lady, I like to call them all young, but anyways, there was a young lady who's told us that she was just joined a strategic planning session for RI International. We need to get your name and get you into connecting with Robert. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah, you can. All right, thank you for those fabulous reports.